NBA legends on LeBron or Michael, who is the better player? I guess since they're legends and they've been in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that, they have the better opinion. They played against both of them. They played against one of them. They know how they play and stuff like that. But I guess we'll see compared to like my view or like someone else's view who just watches outside. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. Let's get in for 100 likes on this video.
Hey man, it's your boy YG aka Yangala, and this debate is never going to end. Every time I hear the LeBron versus MJ argument, I just avoid it now because it's almost impossible to change somebody's opinion about a player if they grew up watching them. But we're going to hear more of this once LeBron retired. And honestly, they're two different players that have two different play styles and played in two different eras. It's like comparing apples and oranges. But that's what makes the debate fun, because you get to hear two different perspectives of a fan that grew up watching Michael Jordan play and a fan that grew up watching LeBron play. But I always wonder, what do NBA legends have to say?
It'll be very interesting once LeBron retires what people say and what they don't say, because that's when all the stats are going to come
So
out.
anyways, man, we're going to listen to NBA legends and players share who they think is better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. But before we get straight into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
We compare MJ to obviously the greatest in the world today in a lot of people's eyes in LeBron James. What do you feel about those comparisons specifically?
Well, first of all,
Magic.
let's not take anything away from LeBron James, because LeBron James is a great basketball player, one of the all-time greatest that's ever played the game.
I've never
LeBron
seen a
James,
Jordan
to
fan
me,
say that
when
in my
you think
life.
about all-around basketball player, he probably is the best of all time, right? All-around basketball player. But when you want to say who's the greatest ever, it's still Michael Jordan. Now, LeBron James' chapter is not closed yet, right? He still has some basketball to play. So maybe he has a chance to catch him later on if he can get some more championships under his belt. But at the end of the day, they're both great, and they played the game the right way. They made their teammates better. They won championships, and thank God for LeBron, because right now, that's what we're watching. We're watching LeBron James. This is his time. This is his era, and he's dominating this era and in his time.
No, I mean, I disagree.
Very well said. I get this comment a lot that I'm a Jordan hater or a Jordan disliker. I'm not a Jordan hater. I'm a Jordan fan hater. I hate y'all. I don't hate him. He's a good player. Y'all make him look like he's something that he's actually not. But he is a good player. He's a good basketball player. But y'all paint the wrong picture for him. I'm sorry. Y'all need to describe him better, use better terminology, talk better, because the words y'all use and the way you describe him and the statistics you throw out there, they're not statistically correct. They're not.
With Zeke, I think Jordan is the greatest of all time in my book. You know?
What makes him better as a basketball player? Not the rings argument. What makes him better as a basketball player, like Scotty just described? What makes him better to you?
For me, I think just completely just taking over games, you know, when it really counts. Not deferring to anybody at any given time. Yeah, there's times where he passed off to a John Paxson or, you know, a Steve Kerr. Yeah, but when it's time to get a bucket, I mean, MJ was that dude to take over a game, averaging 40 in the finals one year, winning that championship. I mean, defending the best players. Exactly. I can't. He's just the greatest to me, man.
Does that Isaiah Thomas comment?
Doesn't take away from LeBron is awesome.
Yeah.
And best in our era that I've seen. He's the best. But the GOAT, that's
To this day, I am perfectly fine with someone saying that. No one in my comment section. Yeah, I have gotten hundreds on hundreds on hundreds on hundreds of comments. No one has worded it like that. They're always like, LeBron would never even touch the glorious aura that Jordan spews out of his pores. No one does. They don't even give him an inch of credit, which is fine. Okay, y'all can not give him credit or anything, but I'm not gonna take it seriously. I can take this seriously.
I can praise LeBron in a different way, because people like T-Mac, guys that can score, would love to play with a guy like LeBron.
Absolutely.
Because they want the ball as well. But when you play with a guy like Michael, who's a superior scorer, and I played most of my career with him. And when you hear a guy come out the huddle and you see that he wants the ball and he's working for it night in and night out, you can't compare him to LeBron because he's not that guy. LeBron is not going to be the guy that say, I want this last shot.
Yeah,
Get me the ball.
It's going back to.
I hear that from Michael. I've heard that from him. Like, no matter what the situation is, get me the ball.
Yeah.
And basically, that tells me, get him the ball, or I'm calling timeout.
No, it's
shot.
hard for me to look back, you know, in a few of those finals where LeBron just was a no-show. You look at the first championship run with Miami in that Dallas series. I mean, it's hard for me to get over that, how he performed in that. Now, he's learned over the years of going back and being dominant, but, you know, to have those mishaps, I mean, MJ never had that in his championship.
Do you think LeBron James is up there with the greatest players of all time?
Yes. I will, you know, depends on how you.
Is that Hakeem?
Because according to the position that he plays, you know, I don't. When people start comparing him with Jordan, then that's not a fair comparison. Because Jordan is far more superior player, and a very, very tough league, and very, very very creative.
Sure.
I mean, that's not taking anything away from LeBron James because he's a great player, but it's not a fair comparison because I think Jordan is much far superior player.
Is LeBron entering Michael Jordan territory?
LeBron James is a great player. He's a great player in this era, but he's not Michael Jordan. It's two different animals. Michael was a killer. He's an assassin. LeBron is more of a facilitator. He's the guy that you're gonna give the ball, and he's thinking shoot first before pass. Where Michael, you give him the ball, he's thinking he's gonna score 50 on you, and then he's gonna pass. And Michael Jordan was the best player, the greatest player in my era. There's been a lot of great players in this league, and it's hard to give one player that best ever crown. But all I can say is in my era, Michael Jordan was the best player in my era. And he's,
100%.
I haven't seen anybody else. Kobe is, I guess, came the closest to him. But LeBron is great, but he's not Michael Jordan.
No. Is LeBron close to surpassing MJ in your book?
No.
Not at all? Where do you rank him? Like top 5, top 7?
And well, definitely top 3. Mm-hmm. But I don't like having this conversation because I actually know all these guys. But I know LeBron, and I think this is LeBron's plan. I think he wants to pass up Kareem. Because if he passes up Kareem in point, we all got to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I mean, he did already. I bet this was probably an old interview, but
for sure.
He going to have 4 rings. You already passed up Kobe. You already passed up Mike. Now he passed up Kareem. So if that don't make him the greatest basketball player is, I don't know, what we're talking about. But like when it comes to ranking, it's going to be Mike, going to be Kobe, and then probably LeBron. But that's always debatable. But again, I don't think LeBron wants to be compared to Kobe or Mike. LeBron has definitely made his own mark.
LeBron is
But I know him and known him since he was a kid. He's trying to pass up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And if I was him, I'd do the same thing. Because I'd be like, once I pass up Kareem, I don't want to hear shit else about who the best.
Job with the things that he is doing on the court now, I'm a big Michael Jordan guy. I mean, that was my era. But LeBron's making a great argument to be, one of the greatest, if not the greatest.
Let me ask you.
LeBron
like
James
David.
is the greatest player ever.
That's what I say. I
Greater than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think so.
Steph Van Gundy said Van Gundy said
Michael Jordan.
LeBron better than Jordan? I did not know.
You cannot tell me in a one-on-one game now that LeBron James want to dominate Mike.
1v1, bro. LeBron's going to the post every time, and Mike is not going to be able to guard that. That's all I'm going to say. And LeBron can shoot the 3. LeBron will be guarding Jordan from, free throw line. Jordan cannot. an open Jordan 3 will allow him to make those. We're not stressing about that. A LeBron open 3 is much more dangerous than the Jordan open 3.
In a one-on-one game, LeBron James, 6'9", 260 pounds. If the game was at 7, I think LeBron would win 7-3.
100%, 7-3.
Cavaliers have LeBron James. He's the best there is.
Yeah. Do you think he's better than Jordan?
Oh, yes.
Really?
He's 6'8", 285, runs like the wind, jumps out of the gym. And from the moment he walked in the league, his teams won.
Thanks.
LeBron took one of statistically the worst teams in the end.
Come on. What do you think? LeBron is in a class by himself.
You know, very few players. I'm trying to think if there's anybody besides LeBron that has had that combination of speed and size and athleticism and strength. So I think it's, I mean, look, LeBron is, I think, the greatest player to ever play.
The conversation, it really is a non-conversation, just, you know, based purely on generationally, you know, the game changes, you know, ever so many years. And, you know, I played against both of them, obviously, and both of them were dominant in each way that they possibly could be. The way the game is, you know, the way the rules have changed, what the most important thing is that each individual player, based on who you grew up with, you know, they grow you up. They're your childhood idol or favorite, whatever it may be. And that's all it is. You know, I had the opportunity to grow up with Michael Jordan, and I believe he will always be the greatest. And there are kids now that grow up and they'll say Steph Curry, LeBron, Kevin Durant will be the greatest in their minds, because that's who will be nostalgic for them as they grow up and become adults.
There's Kareem, you know, and then there's a debate, you know, in terms of Jordan
you grew up with is
and LeBron.
Who's gonna be your
and
favorite.
on any given night, you know, who do you like? You know, for me, I look at, you know, the total body of work what
Isaiah
LeBron
Thomas has
James
changed
is
his
as a
opinion
basketball
like
player.
20 million
If I had to pick one over the other, right now I'm picking LeBron James over a Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever put on shoes and play in our game. No doubt about it. I'm always asked about questions to compare him to LeBron. I try to make the best of it.
You try to make the best of it?
I've tried to make the best of it, but really the comparison shouldn't ever be made. They both play two different positions. The way LeBron James play, Michael Jordan was never asked to play that way because I took that away from him. I was the point forward. I was the facilitator. Michael Jordan is a scorer. He was a defender. He played the game as complete as LeBron James did when he needed to, but he was asked to score the basketball, and that's what he was great at.
Scottie Pippen has also changed his mind due to
that
bias.
I would ever play in and pick LeBron James over Michael Jordan.
No game.
No game.
So now
it's cap. He said recently that he picked LeBron over Michael, but I think it's because of a book or some beef that they have behind closed doors, so he changed his mind. Bias, but, you know.
Now you're just being
Not if I'm
firm
trying to
about it.
win. Not if I'm trying to win. I mean, I'm not going to give up my teammate who I won 6 championships with.
I know Michael pretty well, and and we've talked about things like that. But I don't think there's any question that if you're a great player, and certainly I'm not sure we've seen a player like him in my lifetime, because of his impressive play on both ends of the court. He was arguably, well, I don't think he argued, but he was the best offensive player and the best defensive player in the league. We haven't seen that before. And but the competitive nature of Michael was just unique.
Best defensive player in the
If
league.
there's someone that was sort of a challenge to him in terms of, you know, talking about the best player in the league, he was going to prove that that wasn't the case. And also he was going to lead his team. He was just a fierce competitor, but physically, I'm not sure we've seen a package like that. The quickness, the lateral quickness, the vertical, the running, gigantic hands, being able to do things in the air that we see we haven't really seen anyone do like him.
I just think there needs to be a line in the sand and no more comparisons, because it just can't be. You know, Jordan didn't come straight out of high school. What if Jordan would have played 2 more years? Jordan played in a different era, you know. So I
I'm kind of
this is
worn
changed.
out of the comparison
LeBron's
because
#1 now.
I think you still have to talk about him being better than Kobe. You can't just jump up to Jordan. I don't think numbers just mean it, and I think maybe he is the greatest teammate of all time.
LeBron is 100% better than Kobe. I don't even feel like getting into that conversation.
Instead of individual players. So when you get into the weeds of it, I've heard some really good arguments, and I can agree with those. But the overall arguments, I'm not sure. Because one day Durant's going to break all of those, and I think Durant will actually break Kareem's record. So it means a lot that he did that, and I'm congratulations, very happy for him. But it doesn't do anything in the argument of who's better to me.
The reason that I feel LeBron is the GOAT is because during pressure times, he still makes the actual right decision versus what us fans and the public wants him to do. You know, and that's what separates, you know, him from Jordan and Kobe.
Very true.
Where if you give Jordan and Kobe those Cavs teams, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. They wouldn't have made it.
Someone with some sense. Do you want to know why they wouldn't make the playoffs with these teams? Bro, do you see? Kobe had arguably a top 5 center on his team. Jordan had arguably a top 5 team of all time. LeBron had Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, another time. Like, if you put them on those teams, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be like Jordan with 50, Jordan with 60, Kobe with 50, Kobe with 60, and the rest of the team is dropping at least 6 or 7 points. No, the rest of the team, like, they're not passing it, especially with them not having any potential. LeBron passes to people. LeBron passed it to Danny Green. Danny Green's a good shooter and all, but he for the last shot of the game, like, you have to have real trust in your players to do that. Jordan is not passing. Kobe is not passing. So if they're not passing on a team that's already bad and he's not bringing the best out of them, they're just gonna fall apart.
To the championship because Jordan would have just averaged 60 and said the hell with it. We were spoiled by Jordan.
Gilbert's not wrong.
Chicago with the lead. You know, the grace he brought to the game, his fierceness, the way he ended games. And when Kobe came, we seen Jordan-like. So what ends up happening is when you have a player like LeBron who comes into the game, who doesn't have the instincts of Jordan and Kobe, they're gonna take that last shot no matter what. We feel that if you're the best player, you're the star. You're compared to Jordan and Kobe, you should be Jordan and Kobe-like, which is not necessarily correct. Jordan and Kobe possessed something LeBron didn't have, which was a first step, which made them one-on-one players. LeBron came in as Magic Johnson, meaning his vision is his key. As someone who loved Michael Jordan and Kobe, we get mad and we want to knock him because he's using his vision when we allowed him to use their one-on-one skill to finish plays. It's unfair to say you can use your one-on-one skills, but you can't use your gift. You can't use your vision. You can't see the open man. You're supposed to chuck the shot up.
Doing a good job.
And if it goes in, we're gonna cheer you on. If you miss it, we're gonna say, he don't have it. No, you know, this is what makes him great. The ability to see the open guy if he's not the open guy. Just like Jordan made himself the open guy. But we didn't knock him when he passed it to Steve Kerr. I mean, he didn't pass it to him knowing he was gonna make the shot. He passed it to him hoping he would make that
Is that right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did play against Jordan.
Okay, the second best player you played against is who?
I did play against Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. So, I mean, I think right there, I don't really have an order. I mean, I think MJ's there, and then you have Kobe, and probably the second best.
Who the go?
Michael Jordan. Okay, listen, and this is LeBron is one of my good friends. I have so much respect for what he's doing now, what he's done, and what he would eventually do, because he's not done yet. So it's definitely, I'm going to say this, it will definitely be an argument that would need to be had. If LeBron James end up the #1 scorer of all time, top 5 in assists and top 5 in rebounds, and have 4 to 5, 6 championships, you cannot do nothing but have the conversation of who's the greatest of all time.
The conversation's already happening.
Well, the conversation's been happening, but it's not good. LeBron's still playing. It's hard to have that conversation about the greatest of all time when a man is still putting on his jersey, right?
It's not
when
hard.
He's done. His lineup, his statistical lineup is going to be the greatest that's ever played the game when it comes to scoring, assists, rebounds, so forth and so on. I come from a Jordan era. I am biased, and I'm going to be a bias to the day I pass away. Michael Jordan will be my GOAT.
I always loved you. I love you even more.
No, he would be my GOAT. But that doesn't mean I'm not taking anything away from LeBron. LeBron is amazing, but Michael Jordan is my GOAT. I play basketball because of Michael Jordan. Yeah. Like, my thing is like, this is a real conversation, right? All of us have our own individual opinions. This has nothing to do with, like I said, once LeBron James is done playing this game of basketball, I'm definitely going to tell my grandkids, kids, that I played with one of the greatest to play the game of basketball. He will be the GOAT for a lot of generations. I started playing the game because of Michael Jordan. He will be my GOAT until the day I pass away. It doesn't take anything away from LeBron. This is just like LeBron. We started playing, we envisioned playing like Michael Jordan. So for me, from Chicago, where I grew up, I made it out the hood because I seen a dude, number 23, play the game of basketball at a level that I was like, I just want to do some of that.
That's his
so
opinion.
it doesn't, to me,
It's
it doesn't
valid.
take anything away from LeBron. LeBron will be the GOAT of this generation that has watched him grow up, just like we watched Michael Jordan kind of grow and go into what we call a GOAT. That's why I always say my GOAT. This is not personal. LeBron's my guy, but Jordan is my GOAT.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and give me your most unbiased opinion on why Jordan is better than LeBron.
Unbiased. I think it's impossible to be unbiased at this point. Unless you're like born after the LeBron era and after the Jordan era and you watch both of them play and you have like no favoritism, I feel like that's what bias. Then you can be unbiased.
I'm just talking on this beat, like it's just you and just me. We can say the side of the beef.